Okay, fellas, you both know the rules. When I say break, you break clean. Take yourselves at all times. Touch gloves.
Should be a really good night in store. Packed. This bill in Coventry. Here's the talented tournament victor Cori Gibbs, who finally gets his career rolling again. It's fight number 17 for the unbeaten Birmingham boxer as he meets the experienced Spaniard Carlos Pérez. Well, see Bernardo Checkers in his corner, so excellent corner man for the opponent tonight, the southpaw Cori Gibbs. And Matt, he must have impressed you in that tournament when Carl Froch was commentating ringside that night. I know the Cobra thought he was really good.
Yeah, really good, skillful, you know, elusive skills, nice movement, good peripheral vision, good reflexes. And it was just good, you know, and really 3 rounds, for me, I don't think would suit someone like Cori, but he was just so superior skill-wise and just ability. He won the tournament, but I think the longer rounds will suit him more.
Natasha, he's switching already. He's got plenty of ability, good junior, decent amateur, and a good start to his pro career, but it's taken time to get to this point.
Yeah, he's had a lot of spells of inactivity, and I think we've seen flashes of what he can do. You know, he was a good level amateur. He was on the GB squad, and he was very experienced and very good, but he just wasn't there all the time.
Do you remember him?
I do, yeah. He was one of the ones that was still around when I was there.
Nice right hand from Pérez, who won't be overawed here. He's 35 in fight number 26. Spanish champion. Good right hand as well. He might be a handful, and Gibbs was meant to fight on the Taylor Catchwell night, but had to pull out through COVID, so it's been the waiting game again.
Yeah, inactivity, possibly a bit of rust as well, maybe a little bit of over-eagerness here in his first round. He's been caught with a few shots, the lead right hand, and also he came back with the left-handed Pérez, and they landed some good shots, but this is better from Gibbs, leading with the backhand from the southpaw stance.
Nice uppercut as well. He's got plenty of flashy tricks. Frankie Gavin always rated Cori Gibbs. And plenty do around these parts if he can put it all together at 28 and keep busy and keep fighting. This is the start. Ben Shalom promised the contract as well as the big cash prize for the tournament winners. And we've got 2 on tonight. It's great for the grassroots, isn't it?
It is, and that's what the kind of thing that you want. You want to be active, you want to be out, and you want to be on a big platform, and Sky is, and Boxer is that platform.
Sure, he's just easing back into it after the layoff. Cori Gibbs. Another right hand from Pérez, who's lively, if not always accurate, in this opener. Birmingham's Cori Gibbs in the black and purple with the black boots, the white and blue of Carlos Pérez from Spain, who on his ring walk came in, Tasha, with a massive flag and 1 or 2 sponsors on it. It was pretty impressive.
I think I counted 3. But yeah, you know, and he walked in, he was confident, and he's going to gain confidence if he keeps boxing like the way he does. He's catching Gibbs.
I thought he landed the better shots in that first round. Gibbs' defense just a little bit leaky, and you know, head movement non-existence in the first round. You know, a bit of rust, probably got to warm into it, but yeah, Pérez I thought landed the better shots in that first round.
I agree, and I think Tasha nicked it to Pérez as well. So into the second for Cori Gibbs. It was also quick in that tournament format. 3 rounds, and he had to do it 3 times to win. A chance to settle here, Tasha, and let his skills do the work and plant his feet a bit more.
Yeah, I think like Matt said, like sometimes you're trying to just win the first round to get yourself off to a good start, and it's all quick, and it's all you're just trying to win the rounds quickly so you can go back, even stop them, so you can go back, have a bit of a break. But that stop-start thing sometimes is, you know, you've got to warm into it. Now he's going to have the time to settle. It's not like the amateurs where it's points. And if you lose the first round like we had it, you've got the chance to, you know, you've got another 7 rounds to win it back.
A tad more urgency in this one from Gibbs, who's holding centre ring, moving from orthodox to southpaw. You can see his quick feet and trying to judge the distance better now and frustrate Pérez here.
He's doing what he wasn't doing in the first round. He was just walking forward and changing stance. Now he's coming off to the side. He's slipping to his right, slipping to his left, and he's not coming in the straight lines. So he's giving Pérez a bit more to think about.
Yeah, I think he's more mindful of what's coming back as well, as opposed to just focusing on what he wants to land. His defenses are sharper in this round.
It's a bit like the story of his boxing career, the on and off switch that Cori Gibbs has. He admits that he needs something to get up for, a big fight, a challenge, which is why he performed so well in the tournament. But he needs to remember that he is 28. He doesn't want to let it all go past him, because he's got real ability.
Yeah, this has been a better round. It's been a lot more purposeful. There's been a lot more intense. He's stepped into distance. He's committed to the shot, and he's landed some good shots in this round.
Much better round for Cori Gibbs and that red corner.
Timing, accuracy, much better.
Brother Tion at ringside, cheering Cori on, the Birmingham brothers. 16-0 Cori Gibbs. Carlos Pérez, he's 35 now, and he's won 17 of 25. Decent. Champion in his home country, sparred Kid Galahad when the Sheffield man was training to fight Kiko Martinez. He's got Bernardo Checker in his corner, who spent a lot of time with John Breen back in the 90s and zeros in Belfast, and produced many great fighters and champions. Good cornerman.
Yeah, definitely. I think probably from way back in the Barry McGuigan days, I think, as well, was he involved?
Yep, he goes way back. He looks exactly the same, actually.
Yeah, he hasn't aged in about 20 years since I've known him.
A bit like myself, Matt.
There you go. You missed that one, Matt. Trying to work the body is Pérez. Strong and physically tough, isn't he? He's right in front of you.
He is, yeah. He's showing his experience, and I think Gibbs is better southpaw. When he's orthodox, he seems to be getting caught on the way in and on the way out, exactly like that. But when he's southpaw, he's keeping his foot on the outside, and he's managing to avoid the backhand.
Why is he switching?
I agree with Tash. I think he's actually boxing better when he's a southpaw. When he's orthodox, he's getting hit with the orthodox jabs, snapping his head back, where when he's orthodox, he takes the jab away from Pérez a little bit, and Pérez just seems more uncomfortable.
He looks far more natural as a southpaw. I'm not quite sure why he's doing this. He's trying one or two things out that he's worked on in training.
If it's natural to you to switch, it can be off-putting to your opponent, because you are blocking with a different hand, so it can confuse you a little bit, because you 1 minute you're blocking with the lead right hand, and next minute you're blocking with the lead that's the left hand, and it is different because you have to block with a different hand.
But so often you say southpaws have that advantage, like Tash's style, stick to it.
Yeah, the other thing is because they're used to boxing orthodox more so than the orthodox are used to boxing southpaws and sparring and everything. There's just not as many of them, but I think from what I've seen in this fight so far with Cori, he seems to me to perform better when he's in the southpaw stance. Where sometimes when he goes orthodox, he gets caught with the simple jab from Pérez, where when he's boxing southpaw, he just seems a bit more switched on.
His movement and his flow is a lot better. It's like it is the more natural
title. After this one, River Wilson Bent really fired up for it as well. Should be a good matchup, another 50-50 for the English title, and we're getting them in hordes at the moment. Fourth of 8 here, Cori Gibbs.
Yeah, that was better from Gibbs there. You know, he was in southpaw, he doubled up on the southpaw jab, came back in then, finished the combination with the straight left, and it worked well for him.
They're just becoming a bit sharper here, Gibbs.
And that's the type of stuff that doesn't happen really in the ultimate boxing. You don't have the time to, you know, sit and wait and work out your opponent because it is so quick. So well, he could be potentially one of them boxers who get better as the fight goes on, and you know, you get used to a style, you get used to your timings, and your footwork gets better. You can time the shots a lot better.
Because there's a way of winning those tournaments, isn't there? A style,
100%.
a format. You train for that specific night, and now Gibbs is back doing what every professional boxer does and trying to move on in his career and get the right education at the right time. It's a good matchup here because Carlos Pérez is that sort of spirited campaigner who's seen them all come.
Yeah, tough, experienced, and won't come to roll over, so he's going to give Cori Gibbs a test, and you know, one that Cori should definitely come through and look good doing so. But with the inactivity, you know, missed an opportunity really, I guess, through no one's fault. That happens, injuries, illness, but he did have that great tournament, and it'd been good to see him push on from there. It's been delayed. Hopefully he gets a good win here tonight and then can really kind of push on with his career.
He has been over before, Carlos Pérez, lost to John O'Carroll in Leeds, but largely based in Spain, and last defeat was back in the summer of 2019. So he's got through his last 4.
He's not making it easy for Gibbs either. You know, he is showing his experience. He is, you know, working out. Yeah, and like Matt says, he hasn't just come to lose. He's come to put it on him and see what he's got and test him, and that's what he's doing.
Yeah, that's it. You know, he hasn't come to roll over at all. He's here for his. He's got his own ambitions, and he knows if he can spring the upset here, he can come over again and be a bit of a gatekeeper. So, you know, lots for him in this as well to get the win.
Just tries the body and head there, Pérez, but out of range. Getting up close and personal there at the end. Coming up after this one. Can Cori Gibbs maintain his unbeaten record? In with Carlos Pérez over 8 rounds. Not the best of starts, Matt, but he's pulled it back, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think so. He just, the defenses were a little bit leaky early on. No head movement, was a bit static, and you know, he was getting caught with shots, particularly the jabs. Some good jabs from Pérez. You know, good second round, third, you know, got caught again, but I think he's back on top now, and you know, he's the better fighter of the two. He's just got to watch that he doesn't switch off. Sometimes he switches off and gets caught with the shots from Pérez, but you know, to me, he's by far the superior fighter, the more skilled, more variety, everything like that.
3 minutes, people don't realise, is a long time. Like, to keep your concentration for 8 minutes can be hard. It can be difficult to stay switched on for the whole time.
And we know his career, Cori Gibbs, started back in November 2014, so hasn't managed to switch on at all times during training, but he's got himself back together. He's has a family to support, and he's got a good relationship with his team and really wants to fight regularly. That's the key now for Cori Gibbs.
Yeah, I think that is the key. Not just, you know, we talk about he's got talent, we can see it, his patches, he's on, he's off, he's hot, cold. We need consistency. That's what you need to see, not just in this fight. We want to see him be consistent in this fight with Pérez, keep it on him, not to switch off, lose concentration, but then even coming through this in his career, he needs to be consistent.
Well, he was very consistent within the night in Liverpool, beating Sean Masher-Dodd. Quite close that, Lee Appleyard as well, and Tom Farrell in a good final. There's a quality field as well there. It's a case of mentally managing to hold himself together over the course of a career, Tasha. Very different.
Yeah, and especially, you know, some of these lads have started boxing when they was, you know, 10, when you can start competing 11, 12. So that's a long time to be involved in the sport. and to keep that focus and drive through your ABAs, and then your English, going around in tournaments, and then your GBs, and then the turning pro.
Yeah, but that's the same in any sport, Chash, football, anything. They're all, 8, 9, 10 years old. You're committing to it. It's your life, isn't it? That's why you go on and make it as professional. So, that's a given that you have to have that.
But not all talent is flourished, or sometimes the dedication or lack of it can get in the way. I think we mentioned him earlier, Frankie Gavin, one of those, so brilliant. Let's get back to him around. So he thinks he goes in favourite, and he will continue to do the job. We shall see. Cori Gibbs just shedding some rust this year. First appearance of 2022, the tournament winner from Liverpool, in with the tough and game Carlos Pérez, who's won more than he's lost in those blue and white trunks. And a good body shot from Pérez. How are you assessing Cori tonight?
Yeah, I think it's a learning fight. Pérez hasn't come to just roll over, like you said. He's had to work for it. When he's southpaw, he's so much more fluent. He steps off to the right and causes all types of problems for Pérez. And it's just like me and Matt been saying, when he goes orthodox, he's just getting caught with silly shots. But you'll learn.
And this coming from a world champion southpaw, Matt.
Yeah, exactly. I think what happens when he goes orthodox, he switches up a little bit, mentally switches off concentration, and just gets caught with shots like a straight jab. But the right catching, because he's straight up, head goes back, and the right catching shot. So I think it's maybe a lapse in concentration when he switches orthodox. When he's southpaw, to me, he just seems a lot more sharper.
He was mixing his backhand up in from the southpaw position in the last round, and I'd like to see more of that, more body shots. Like I said, stepping off to the right and throwing. And he was hooking as well with his lead hand and spinning off, and it just...
Good shot.
Good shot.
He stepped in there, he doubled up behind the southpaw jab, came in, stepped with it, committed to it, and then looped that left hook round the side. Good shot. I think there's a marking of swelling under the right eye now of Pérez.
Yeah, just a little nuisance around that right eye. Pérez just being outclassed at times, just looks in his corner. This is the best he's ever fought. Not really got anyone on the record, and he is 35 now, but decent enough, and trying to stay with Cori Gibbs, work him out. Nice hand speed from Gibbs, who's easing into it more now. But switches, Tasha.
Yeah. That was a good shot from an orthodox position, to be fair to him.
Nice right hand.
It was, yeah.
Just overreaching the Spaniard. And the angles and versatility of Cori Gibbs, just a little bit too much.
Yeah, when he spins like that and leads off with either backhand hook, he leaves Pérez with nowhere to go, and he has to stumble around to find where he is.
Many fancied to win the tournament here in Coventry 10 weeks ago. Didn't work out like that, but another with plenty of ambition. You were smiling when we were talking about John Pegg. He's a bit like your guy, Joe Gallagher. They don't make many of them, do they?
Oh, and you know what? He's got every type of fighter in his gym. Cori is so much different to the likes of Eglinton. So, yeah, you've got to respect that from a coaching point of view. You've got to change style depending on the boxer that you're with.
I love the John Pegg, Sam Eglinton story. We'll see them reunited in a few hours' time in Sam's next big fight. A cracking tale over the last few years that the two of them have dished up over the UK in fights they shouldn't have won and have. Last couple here, Cori Gibbs been pretty good, coming back into the ring after a long absence, in with the tough Spaniard, Carlos Pérez. Won the first, might have got a share of possibly one or two others, but it's mainly been Gibbs, Matt.
Yeah, definitely. Gibbs is a little bit rusty, maybe first round, slow getting going. Defenses maybe not quite as finely tuned as they should have been, but he's grown into the fight. He's got better and better as it's gone, and yeah, he'll be happy just to shake that rust.
And that's a good sign, Tasha, after the 3-minute rounds he had in Liverpool to get better over the course of 8 here.
Yeah, you've got the whole training camp to prepare for one fighter. In the Ultimate Boxer tournament, you're training for whoever you get drawn against, and that's sometimes not always easy because there's so many different styles of boxers. But you know, like I say, you've had all this time to prepare for this one fight.
Not giving up though, Pérez really trying to unleash the leather, but walks into a couple of quality shots from Gibbs. That's the problem. Just sets him again. It's that lack of upper body movement, really static, just not quite as loose, languid, or as skilled as Cori Gibbs, who's got that amateur pedigree.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the success Pérez had early was probably due to also you know, the fact that you know, Gibbs had been out of the ring, probably a little bit lackluster, not quite switched on sharp enough first round. That was when he had the most of his success, really. But actually, as you know, Gibbs has warmed into the fight and got sharper, Pérez's success had been very few and far between.
He won 55 of 58 as an amateur, Cori, two-time winner of the famous Haringey Cup, Junior ABA, NABC titles. It was all there for him, and maybe it can be again as they go toe-to-toe a tad in the back end of the 7th. Of those victories by knockout, so he's probably going to have to wear you down as he moves up in levels, but it's been a decent performance here against Carlos Pérez, Tash.
Yeah, and I think, you know, it's great to go in and get a first round knockout, but with someone who's been out of the ring for so long, probably rounds is what you need. Because there's being fit and then there's being boxing fit, which is a totally different type of fit.
Yeah, exactly. The sharpness, the rust. You know, in football, they come back and they play they can get fit training, but you still got to go have a few friendlies for match fitness. It's different, isn't it? So, and it's the same in boxing. You know, when you're boxing regularly, you're sharper, you're fitter, and also style-wise, I just think Cori's a boxer. He's tricky, he's clever, he's going to outbox people. He's not a heavy puncher, so I don't think he's going to score many knockouts unless he grinds them down. Which is
Well, I was saying he needs momentum. He needs to get into a rhythm, fight every 6 to 8 weeks, sharpen those skills. Don't have a timeout.
No, I agree totally. I think that a guy like Cori Gibbs, and he's 28 years old now, so I think he needs to push on and be busy, and you know, injuries permitting, he should be looking to get out again ASAP.
And get in the real domestic title mix.
Yeah, definitely.
Caught him with a great backhand. And
again.
another.
Yeah, two there, one after the other, Tash, and then bang, walked onto another one.
Again, Carlos Pérez just flicks down a Bernardo Checker in the corner, almost to say, I'm trying everything here. How much longer have I got? The answer is under a minute and a half. He looks fit enough, stubborn enough, ambitious enough, just not good enough.
Yeah, and give credit to Cori because he's come in after doing that boxer tournament and done eight straight rounds. So it's not always easy to, you know, having 3 rounds and having a break and then coming in and doing 8. It's tough.
Yeah, he'll be very pleased, Cori Gibbs, to have, you know, loosened off the rust, got back into a good flow and improving round by round, and that'll impress John Pegg and I'm sure promoter Ben Shalom as well. Not too many shows ahead over the summer, but certainly the autumn period, winter period. You want to see Cori Gibbs fight at least 2, probably 3 more times this year.
Yeah, definitely, at least 2. If I was him, I'd be trying to get out at least 3 times, but 2 would be the bare minimum.
You agree?
Yeah, that's what you want as a boxer. You just want to be, you know, as active as you can be, and like you say, he needs that momentum to, you know, get people behind him, get him more confident and be in fights like this.
So what's the word? Back to the gym. Southpaw.
Stay southpaw.
Stay southpaw. Keep the skills going. and return quickly.
Yeah, get back out ASAP and push on now.
Carlos Pérez is going to go the distance. He's going to see it out, and deservedly so.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout goes the distance. 8 rounds, and we go to your referee, Christine, for the decision, scoring the bout 79-73 in favor of your winner, Cori Gibbs.
Cori Gibbs remains unbeaten. And a nice smile from Carlos Pérez. 79-73 on the card. And we'll hear from Cori after the break.